Hi everyone, my name is Martha Valencia and I will be teaching non-standard methods for teaching fractions. So for my addition, I decided to use a linear model or fraction bars, and I created this problem. Allie is training for a marathon, so on Monday she ran 3/4 of a mile. On Wednesday she ran 1 3/8 miles. How many miles did she run altogether? So our addition problem says 3/4 plus 1 3/8. And what I did is I regrouped this 1 3/8 into 3/4 plus 11/8. Now, what I did after that is I found a common denominator, which is 32, because 8 times 4 is 32. So 4 times 8 is 32. 3 times 8 is 24, because what we do to our denominator, we have to do to our numerator. So we have 24 over 32, and the same goes for our 11/8. We multiplied it by 4, which gave us 44 over 32. If you add 24 over 32 plus 44 over 32, it gives us 68 over 32. And remember that we do not need to add the denominator because it is a common denominator. So 68 over 32 is equivalent to 17 over 8. This is the simplified form. Or we have a mixed number over here. 17/8 is the same as 2 1/8 miles. Now, we have our fraction bars down here, and what I did is that I broke them up into eighths, because it would be easier to shade in. So we can see 3/4 is the same as 6/8. If you multiply these by 2, 3 times 2 is 6, 4 times 2 is 8. So we have 6/8, which is the same as 3/4, plus a whole, which is the same as 8/8, plus our 3/8. Now we're going to shade them in. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just going to kind of shade them in here so you can see. Then we have 8/8, so that means the whole bar will be shaded. And then finally we have 3/8, so 1, 2, and 3 out of 8. So if you add these, you end up getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. And remember, our denominator stays the same because it is common denominator. So we have 17/8. Another way to see it is if you move these two shaded areas to fill these other two areas over here. It gives us 1 whole, 2 wholes, and then leaves us with 1/8 over here. So our sum is 2 1/8 miles total. For subtraction, I chose to use sets, so I have these pie charts over here. I'll show you my subtraction. Now, our minuend is 3/6, and our subtrahend is 1/4. So 3/6 minus 1/4. What I did here is similar to the addition, found a common denominator. So my common denominator is 12. What I did to get 12 is I multiplied 6 by 2, and what you do to the denominator, you do to the numerator, so 3 times 2 as well, gives us 6/12. And then to get 12, I had to multiply our 4 by 3. So 4 times 3 is 12, 3 times 1 times 3 is 3. So 6/12 minus 3/12 gives us 3/12. So I'll show you the reduced difference in the end. So here we have our charts divided into 12 equal parts. So we have 6/12. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we are subtracting 3/12, which is 1, 2, 3. So if you notice over here, if you subtract 3/12 from 6/12, this is the equivalent of subtracting 1/4 from 3/6. 3/6 is 6/12, so we have 6/12s over here. So we are going to subtract these over here. Which leaves us with 3/12, which, as you can see, if we were to divide this into fourths, 3 out of 12 is the same as 1/4. Right here. So our difference is 1/4. For multiplication, I chose to do pattern blocks. Now my factors are 1/2 and 3/9. So what we're doing is we're multiplying 1/2 times 3/9. Another way to put it is 1/2 of 3/9, because remember the word of means multiply. So I have some models over here for my pattern blocks. So this is my whole, so this equals 1 whole, and then I have my whole here divided into halves. And then here I have my whole divided into thirds. And this one is divided into 6. So what I am going to be using is the model for the thirds. So what I'm trying to find is what 1/2 of 3/9 is. So I decided to simplify the fraction 3/9, and it equals 1/3. That is why I'm using the 1/3 model right here. So we have 1/3, 2/3, 3/3. And we're trying to find 1/2 of 1/3. So let's shade in 1/3. 1/3 right here. And we are trying to find what 1/2 of it is. So I've got 1/2 right here. Now, as you can see right here, if we were to divide this into 6 equal parts, so that's equal, this right here, this piece right here, is the 1/2 of 1/3. Now, if we were to say we have 6 equal parts here, this is 1/6. So this right here is the same as that right there. So 1/2 of 1/3 is equivalent to 1/6. Now what I did up here is I just multiplied straight across. 1 times 3 is 3. 2 times 9 is 18. If you divide those by 3, you get 3 divided by 1 is 3 divided by 3 is 1, and 18 divided by 3 is 6. So the product of this equation is 1/6. Finally, for division, I decided to use the area model. So our dividend is 2/3 and our divisor is 4/5. So 2/3 divided by 4/5. What I did here is I went ahead and created my rectangles for my area model. Now, our dividend is going to be represented in this first rectangle, and our divisor will be represented in this second rectangle. Now, the denominator of our dividend tells us how many rows to have. So we have 3. The numerator tells us how many of these 3 rows should be shaded in. So it says 2, so we're going to shade in 2. Now, for our divisor, the same as our dividend, the denominator tells us how many columns to have. Now remember, with our divisor it is columns, dividend it is rows. So it says 5 columns, our divisor, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the numerator of our divisor tells us how many of these columns to shade in. So it says 4. So we're going to shade in 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, what I did down here is I combined our 3 rows with our 5 columns. And what that does is it gives us 3 by 5 is 15 blocks. So there are 15 blocks in each of these rectangles. Now, an easy way to solve this equation is to count up how many of these blocks are shaded in the first rectangle. So this rectangle tells you the numerator of your quotient. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 5 is 10. And then this rectangle right here tells us the number of the denominator in your quotient. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 4 times 3 is 12. So our quotient is 10/12. And when you simplify, so 10, going to divide by 2. When you simplify, it is 5/6. So our quotient is 5/6. Now a way to check it is to use the multiplicative identity method right here. So our 2/3 stays the same, and then instead of division we multiply, and we flip our divisor to 5/4, which results in 10/12, and 10/12, as we said, simplifies, reduces to 5/6. So our quotient is 5/6. That is all. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed this.